Last year at this time, we were all wondering whether 2021 knew that it was supposed to be different from 2020. But as we have so painfully learned, the new year is under no obligation to break the cycles of the last 12 months, especially if we, following the well-worn definition of insanity, keep doing the same things over and over again, but expect different results. We do know that a number of things are going to change in the new year, among them the districts in which we vote. We've known we're losing a congressional seat, which makes the reshuffling even more acute. Now these maps are certainly headed for a series of legal challenges, but candidates have to start making decisions now about where to run and perhaps even where to live. And as we head toward what will certainly be another very volatile election season, is there anyone on or off the ballot who can unite Americans in general, and Michiganders in particular, with a sense of purpose and direction? Or is that asking way too much of 2022? That's just one of the questions we'll ask today on Flashpoint. Headlining our look back and forward, our guests from each side of the aisle this morning, Republican Congressman Tim Walberg of the 7th District and Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who represents the 12th. It's great to see both of you, and Happy New Year. And since I mentioned your districts, let me start right there. And Congresswoman, yours is changing, and as we mentioned a few moments ago, some members of Congress are going to have to move, and you're one of these. Did you see this coming? And I guess the first question that popped in my head is, are you upset by this?
Look, it was a nonpartisan commission. People of Michigan voted for this to be the way that we do the maps, and I respect the wish of the Michigan people. If you were watching this process, which was more than a year, it was clear that Dearborn was likely to be in a Detroit district, and the rest of my district would stay together in some form, and that's exactly what happened. So I respect the Voting Rights Act. I believe in representation, so I'm still going to be representing the majority of the people I currently represent, picking up a few of the people that Tim represents. But Tim and I have already talked, and we're going to work together to serve the people this next year that he represents, that I'll then take over. And look, it's going to be hard to move when you lived in a home with the man that you loved for 30 years, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, your family name is on so many things in Dearborn as well. Congressman, other than changing your lucky number from 7 to 5 now, your district goes from 7 to 5. You get to stay pretty much put, and now will represent most of southern Michigan there. What are your impressions of the new map?
Well, it is what it is. I'm not unfamiliar with the portion I'll be getting. Calhoun County, I represented my first 2 terms in office before getting Monroe County. And so I'll be going now from Lake Erie to Lake Michigan. Being a supporter and a pusher for Great Lakes issues, that gives me a touch on both sides of the state, both lakes, representing the border counties along Indiana and Ohio, now add Illinois to that. So it'll be an interesting district. Fred Upton has been my friend, and I'm sure he hates to lose that portion of his district as well, but it'll be what it is, and I look forward to the opportunity of course, assuming that they elect me to this next term of office. But we've gone through redistricting before. We've learned from John Dingell used to tell me, never give away a friend, and so we will not give away a friend of our old district, get it back a friend from our past district, and get portions of new district as well.
Yeah, you both kind of mentioned this, Congressman. I'll stay with you on this. Do you feel there's going to be a lot more interaction amongst your colleagues here as these districts kind of blend? You kind of pick up other parts. Do you feel like it almost encourages working together, some more bipartisanship here?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. We need to work together in this coming year. And while we'll still have our same districts that we are in right now for this next year, it gives us a chance to start learning about new issues, new concerns, new individuals, and new perceptions that are out there. And maybe, just maybe, Debbie and I can have our wish that there will be some bipartisanship where we can work together. Where we can't, we'll still battle on the issues. But other than that, I think there's a need that we see Michigan as a state that ought to work together, and then the United States as a country that can and must to a greater degree.
Yeah, Congresswoman Dingell, what do you think about not only that, but I see this also could spur even more competition as we see a couple of incumbents are going to run against, and Haley Stevens and Mr. Levin will have to go head to head in a district. Now, how do you see this playing out as the midterms approach next year?
I think that Michigan's going to be ground zero in the country for competitive races. It appears that we could have competitive primary in both parties. I wish it wasn't happening in either, because I have good friends in both primaries. Fred Upton and Bill Heisinger may be running against each other, and Haley and Andy Levin. And quite frankly, we will have very competitive congressional seats in a number of those seats. And that's what the nonpartisan commission was trying to do. I think it's good that we're up for election every 2 years. I don't always love having to raise the kind of money that you do, but we need to be accountable to the people. And if you're in a representative government where the people have that ability to exercise their right to vote, to participate in a democracy every 2 years, it keeps you in touch with the people. It makes you I mean, I like to be with people, so I'm out and about always. It's my favorite thing to do, but you want to listen and make sure you are representing the people that have elected you to the job.
Yeah. Let me quickly pivot to COVID. We're seeing on Thursday a letter went out from the state superintendent and the head of MDHHS encouraging masks in schools. And also we learned that there could be booster shots being approved in the coming week for kids 12 to 15. With so much happening right now and on all fronts, let me ask both of you. I'll start, Congresswoman Dingell. What would you like to see happen in the year ahead from the administration, from the Biden administration, as the COVID response going forward here?
Look, COVID's real. I'm somebody who believes in vaccination. I think people should wear their masks. I wear my mask when I'm outside and when I'm inside. Everybody who's been with me, Tim has seen me, the governor has seen me, I wear my mask. And it's scientific fact that it helps prevent lives. I want to see the administration get more tests out there. Testing is going to be a key component of trying to manage this. I also think we're all going to need that fourth booster. I'm glad that our young people are going to be able to be eligible for the booster. I think the sooner we get that out there, the better. And I think this administration needs to get ahead of, and the reality is we're seeing Israel do it now. We're going to need that fourth booster. Let's make sure we've got the supply and are talking about vaccinations the way we should. Complete vaccination now is 3 shots, and it's probably quickly going to be 4.
Congressman, a lot of people feel like we're stuck in 2021, or in 2020. Feels like the same thing. We should be a year down the road. Where do we go from here, in your opinion?
Well, I think ultimately, I'd agree with Debbie that we ought to use the best science, and what we can use that benefit us as individuals, adults, as well as children, we ought to use. But I think science indicates that ought to be the decision of individuals for their best interests. Doctors and patients ought to be consulting on what's the best. With children, we know that they do get sick, but they generally don't die. We know that we've put traumatic experiences on our kids in schools. We've stunted their educational growth in many ways. For no reason that we could scientifically prove. So I would hope that, as the president said last week, it'll not be a federal solution. I'm glad he finally came to that. That was the past administration's position, that the states will take charge of it, do the best that they can for the individual school settings, but more importantly than anything, get it back to as normal as possible. Yeah. We know we're going to have this virus around in various forms, probably forever, like the flu. We know that we're better prepared than before. We know that the vaccines do work. We know that there'll be changes needed there. But if we continue to cloister ourselves off and destroy our economy, destroy our educational opportunities, we're going to have greater problems down the road.
Yeah. Congressman, Congresswoman, thank you so very much. I'm going to leave it there. And best wishes to you as things change as we get into the new year. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.